And now for the blog of the week segment. As last week, I couldn't pick just one. I had to pick two. And one of them sort of overlaps with the tool of the week that we'll be talking about in a bit. It's not the same as the tool of the week, but it's another tool, but I've got to share it. So, and it's one with which you're all quite familiar, or most likely are familiar, but we aren't necessarily seeing the adoption in education that we could. And it's free and it's easy and it's cool and it works like a champ. So this is using Dropbox to maintain your website quickly and easily, but really it's about using Dropbox to share information with students and to get information back from students. The Dropbox post actually originally came from Doug off the record, dougpete.wordpress.com, and it is really it actually that was just referred by him. There's an original piece called From Tap into End Minds. So we'll post that link. But Tap into Teen Minds. We'll post that link. But there's a great piece fully detailing how one teacher is using Dropbox to share very easily with the students. And it sort of illuminates, in particular with an iPad deployment that they have. All of a sudden, shared folders within Dropbox, you drop in content, whether it's a PDF, an ebook, a Word document, a spreadsheet, even a sheet with links on it. All of these things get put into this public folder, and instantly students have access to them on their iPads. And Google Docs, of course, you can do this sort of thing, but it isn't as flexible on the Google Docs client or application on the iPad is certainly not what it is in Android. So if you are not a Google Apps school, or you simply would like something that's a little bit more robust, there's 5 gigabytes freely available for every user on Dropbox, and you can put a lot of stuff into 5 gigabytes. Also allows students to begin independently building portfolios. You're kind of encouraging them to leverage the cloud. So my own son has been he lost his thumb drive, and I said, well, did you just put things out in the cloud? Well, the what? Have I not taught you anything? So, even just getting your students to make use of cloud technologies that make your content available anywhere is a big step forward. But using it actively as a teacher and sharing in that way, really quite, it's a great blog. Tap into Teen Minds, .wordpress.com. Do check it out. Link will be posted, and make sure that you look at this automatic FTP client as he calls it. The second blog of the week is over on Education Rethink, and it struck a chord with me. It's talking about being able to define social media, and it is something that's a term that gets thrown about a lot. But as teachers, we don't necessarily all fully get it. We certainly don't get it natively like our students do. So John Spencer wrote about the idea that we don't really need to define it. But it's more, this collection of things. It's out in the cloud, and we're using them increasingly to collaborate and communicate. It brings to mind, though, a WizIQ conversation we had yesterday with a poet, Angela Ko, AngelaKoh.com, worth checking out. Not a huge poetry fan, but she actually writes some great stuff. And the reason why these two things tie together is because we got to talking about the use of social media and the use of Twitter in particular. And I asked her, I said, and she is a big Twitter fan, uses it frequently. I said, do you consider Twitter to be writing? And I said, it's a social medium, but, can in 140 characters, can our students actually learn to write and communicate well? And, in fact, I would argue that, perhaps this particular social medium, more than many others, can teach our students to be concise and thoughtful in their words, sort of a modern day haiku. And it doesn't need to be haiku, it just means it needs to be precise and thoughtful. So those are our 2 blogs of the week on C12, and that's from Education Rethink with John Spencer, not being able to define social media, as well as tapintoteenminds.wordpress.com, and talking about using Dropbox for your instant FTP.